what's going on, ladies? How you doing? Tonka, Andrew number two, Hamza, Ginger, Ricky, what's going on? Obviously, very dumpy day today. Um, Made some good trades, had a good week overall. April was good. Now it's time to go over your April this weekend and reset and make May even better. So next month I'm gonna try to do even better than I did this month. But April for me personally was my best month of the year by far. Another green month, obviously, but it was a bigger green month than the rest of them so far. So let's see what happens next month. Reset, relook at your trades. What did we do right? What did we do wrong? I think one of my biggest things that I did this month, a lot of my plays went 5, 6, 7, 800%, and I sold them around 100, 200%, or even 50%. So a lot of that is basically leaving more runners, not having FOMO, but at the same time, I still have to hold some runners just so I don't chase trades, you know what I mean? So like the Tesla, for example, yeah, we'll go over some of the trades over the month, like today and yesterday, obviously great days. This week was great days. But this month we missed a lot of profits. Just we were in the exact right positions. We just had to hold or we had to roll over. So that's one thing I'm personally going to work on for next month, and I will keep you guys updated as that goes along. But we're going to go into SPY here. Complete dump day. We lost all the lows basically. Um, we did not lose all the lows actually. We have one more low left, which is the low of February 24th, Russia invasion of Ukraine, which is down at 410.64, which is that yellow line here. The previous low was also made on March 8th here at 415.12. We took that one out with ease. It was a double bottom from April 27th as well. What's up, Isaac? How you doing? G Money, Carlos, welcome. Let's just get into this. Let's get this post market done. Go get some partying done. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. 410.64 is the low now. That is the critical low for the market now. Next week, obviously, we had a lot of sell off this week, guys. So I do not expect us to go straight down and break it. One thing is though, weak Fridays always lead to weak Mondays. So on Monday, what we're gonna watch for is if we get a red day on Monday, 410.64 is the key level. If we break underneath there, there's no support until all the way down here from May of 2021, guys. It's a big move down for the market. And if you guys look at how the monthly candle closed on SPY, let's get rid of these drawings. Actually, I'll draw them back on next week. Monthly candles on SPY here now. That is not a pretty candle, guys. So basically, we're just slowly going down. Right now, we are holding above the 21-day moving average, which is at 409.91. Again, that support from March is at 410.64. So, I mean, from February, sorry, 410.64. Then we have 409.91. So 410, 410.50 area is a big support now for SPY. If we lose that, there's a lot of room down, guys. If it wants to go come test that 50-day moving average, it's way down at 339. And remember, with all the garbage, all the politics, the geopolitical wars, the inflation, everything that's going on, there's more than you guys even know, but we are only down on SPY 14%. I mean, that's not a big number for what's going on in the world right now. We have COVID scares again. We have COVID lockdowns. COVID cases are picking up. And the first time, SPY went down 35%. So even if we were down 35%, guys, on SPY, it would put us, if we got the same COVID kind of flush out, we would be down on SPY around 312. You know the carnage in the market if SPY was at 312? So just prepare yourselves. I'm not saying this is anywhere close to over. There's going to be little tiny bounces here and there, but other than that, I do see a lot more downside. I mean, look at QQQ. What is this chart? This is like those meme charts that you see on Instagram and stuff, where people's stocks are falling through their screen, through the desk, onto their feet. That's what's going on right now. QQQ, complete selling. Like, there's not even volume here, guys. This isn't selling volume. This is just no one buying. No one is buying this stuff at all. For QQQ to be down 4.5% on the day and volume is not even higher than it was back here, it's kind of tricky right now. It just means no one is buying. Until the Fed pivots and changes what they're doing, we're not going to go up. There's going to be little tiny bear market rallies, but we're not going to go anywhere near all-time highs. QQQ has officially lost and closed under all of the supports for the year now. So now we're looking back at May 2021 supports. Those were lost. Now QQQ has support at March of 2021 lows, guys. Like, that's something to think about. These are year-old lows that we're looking at now. 307.39, and then the big support comes in down here at 297. So QQQ has a very good possibility to go under 300. Let's see. Unless the Fed does something next week, I don't see us bouncing any significant way. Only bear market rallies, and you guys know those can be crazy with the short squeezes as you've seen in March. But here's XLF completely losing all the lows as well. XLF support is now back in April of 2021. We've lost everything, guys. This is a big topping pattern if you look at the weekly chart. This is actually starting to look like when I called Bitcoin top at 60,000. This is what happened on the weekly. It kept trying to break up to all-time highs, kept failing and kept coming down. And then when we lost lows, that was the top. This is what I'm talking about. I called this Bitcoin top. I know the OGs from my stock life know about this call, but right here, I called this top at Bitcoin around 68 grand, I think, because on the weekly chart, we kept grinding up, but we could never get any force and start taking it out from back here. So this was the resistance I was looking for on Bitcoin weekly. With one line here, we had one line here. And you see how it took it out, closed beneath, took it out, closed beneath, took it out, closed beneath, finally got over line number 1, finally got over line number 2, but look at how the weekly candle closed. I called the top, I think, this week right here. And I said Bitcoin is going to come down big time. And no one believed me, and it came down big time. But anyways, that's what's starting to shape out. And if you guys want another picture of what I'm talking about, IWM is the perfect example. So this is a weekly chart of IWM. You have the highs here around 206.62. Every time it gets up to that level, it rejects or it breaks through and then rejects right back down. So this is a very familiar topping pattern. You guys see it back here in December and Jan of 2020, right before the COVID crashes. You see it here in August of 2018, right before the rate crashes. And it happens all the time. Like weekly charts, once they start getting up really, really high and they cannot take out the highs with force and they start basing, and the longer they base, the more chance you have of coming back down. So that's what I'm seeing on a lot of indexes right now. Plus the VIX is looking even stronger than it did last time it was up here. The VIX just seems more comfortable at higher levels. So let's see. I do expect a rally next week to kill off VIX. Why? Because the Fed meeting is on Wednesday. They always want to crush shorts before the Fed meeting. So I do expect a VIX pullback before Wednesday, which would mean a rally either on Monday or Tuesday. So Monday or Tuesday, we're going to get a rally, in my opinion, a short squeeze. After that, the VIX will come down, cool off. And once the RSI on the VIX gets a little bit lower, back to volatility again after the VIX meeting. Unless the Fed changes something, which I do not see coming. SPX levels have been the same all week. I haven't changed anything on here at all. Let's go to a 15-minute chart. I showed you, well, there's a lot of freaking levels on here. But the levels I gave you this week were basically 4,300 top, 4280, 4260, 4240 was key. As soon as we lost 4240, it was kind of obvious that we were going into a downtrend today. 1015 was when we lost it. And QQQ, I gave you a level as well. If we lost that, we were going into a downtrend. That's whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then 4,200 was support, 4,194. You see how it bounced off 4,184, bounced back over 4,194, but rejected 4,200 again, came back down, and started taking out all my levels. And then under that was 4,140, which I did not have drawn, unfortunately. Well, I do have it drawn from somewhere. From back here, 4,140. And then we closed below that as well. So just overall, just a very ugly day. Ugly week. If you're a bull, if you're a bear, you're happy as hell because the bears are in full control right now. TQQ, same chart as NASDAQ, no reason to go over that. ES, no reason to go over that. Shopify actually held up really well today. A lot of stocks were making new lows, losing low of day like every 5 minutes. Shopify did not lose low of day. So we gapped down from yesterday, but we did take out yesterday's highs, which is very positive. If the market was strong at all, G-Money's Shopify calls would have been 10 beggars. I'm telling you right now, because I've seen this kind of action in Shopify before. This is just shorts getting squeezed, and sometimes it just runs for a long time. And I think the 500s could have even gotten the money. Shopify earnings next week. Let's see what they say. That's why the calls and puts were so expensive for next week. I did look. And apparently their earnings are on May 5th, which would be next Thursday. And their split happens June of 29. So June 29th of 2022 is when their 6-to-1 split happens as well. And days are flying by. These splits are coming up, guys. Shop split, Amazon split, Google split. They're all coming. T-Doc held up well, but in the overall scheme of things, what is holding up well when you're down to levels that you haven't been to since 2018, guys? So you want to take calls on T-Doc, be my friend, be my guest. I will not be taking any far out calls on T-Doc. They have shitty earnings, it's a shitty company. Kathy Woods is still buying them. If Kathy Woods sells all her T-Doc and it goes down another 5 points, I'll load Leaps. I'll put my whole account in T-Doc Leaps if she sells her whole equity position in T-Doc. That's my thoughts on T-Doc. We made our 400%. I mean, I didn't get my 500. That was my plan, but I got my 400. That's good enough. Tesla, we nailed this one as well today. Let's go over this trade a little bit. So Tesla was ripping this morning. I told you guys right in the morning my plan for Tesla was if we get a dump to 866, I'm going to load the shit out of calls. We didn't get that dump. We got a rip right off the open off that news that Elon was done selling his stock. So in my experience, I've watched this Tesla stock before, and what happens with Tesla is if Elon says something, it has a little pop, but when the actual filing comes out that he's done selling or that he's already sold, the SEC filing, that's when the stock really rallies. And that's probably going to come over the weekend or next week. So that's why I really wanted calls for next week from 866. We didn't quite get there. And we ripped this morning at around 10 a.m. So 10 a.m. was when I was watching Tesla. Take a look at SPY at 10 a.m. We were over here, right here. So SPY started going down. I seen Microsoft was dumping at this time. Do I have Microsoft open? No, I do not. Microsoft was dumping at 10 a.m. See, Microsoft did not do anything today. Look at 10 a.m. right here. Just lower lows all day while SPY is pumping. SPY did pump for the first half an hour or so. QQQ did bump for the first half an hour. So Microsoft was straight down. Microsoft's one of my main market indicators as well. Looked at Microsoft, looked at SPY, looked at Tesla. This thing's coming down, right? Too far, too fast. Shorted it. We got the 800 puts for next week. They went 100%, over 100% today. I still have a few runners. They were at, I think they closed at like 130%, 140%, something like that. Other than that, I'm just watching. If we got down to the 866, I would have loaded calls. Next week, if a filing comes out that he actually sold the Tesla stock, the stock's going to rip. So keep an eye on Tesla on Monday. That's going to be my top watch as well. Apple, they killed earnings. Apple killed earnings, but no guidance. That's a big red flag for a lot of people. That's why there's a lot of selling on Apple. Last time I seen Apple down 4%. I don't really remember. I probably wasn't looking at it that day. But just huge red candle. When you don't give guidance on where your company's going, how does that put confidence in your investors, right? So let's see what happens with Apple. But Apple on the daily has closed below the 200-day moving average. On the weekly, Apple has right on top of the 50-day moving average, which is at 154.63. So we're going to change this right here to 154, guys. 154 is the target now. We closed at 157. 154 should supply a very good bounce for Apple. What's up, Ad? How you doing, bro? UAL, we're watching into next week. I still have the $40 puts for 2 weeks out. Why do I have the puts? It looks like a topping pattern to me, honestly. Clean fib levels today. Yesterday, last 2 days, we had nice little bounce off this EMA cloud here. So I'm still not too confident in this position just because reopening plays kind of move on their own sometimes. But if the market is weak like it is today, nothing will go up. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter how much money your company is making. It's a clear channel here. And right now, this is kind of a very bullish setup, to be honest. I'm in the puts, guys. I'm not going to be biased. I am in the puts. But this breakout on earnings, big gap up, they came down. They almost exactly retested this channel, guys. So this is a very, very bullish setup. If the market is not weak, I think UAL can rip. So we're going to have to keep our tight losses, stop losses tight next week. If we don't get weakness on Monday, I might get rid of these. Because, again, the daily, all it did was come back and retest the resistance. And now we ripped again 2 days. And now 1 day down is exciting and everything. But if we don't start breaking down on Monday, I'm going to have to get rid of these at a loss. Other than that, here's Amazon. Huge dump. Garbage earnings. Garbage CEO. Bezos knew what he was doing when he left. He left right at the top. And right now you have this very, very clear trend line. If you do want equity, I would try a piece maybe here around 2300, 2350, maybe a first scale in for Amazon equity. I personally don't want Amazon equity. I want Google. I'll put all my money into Google before I even touch Amazon. but Amazon's broken. You guys see here, clear trend line there. If you want to wait even longer, I would wait for 2200 on Amazon. And other than that, Google is the one I'm eyeing right now. I want it for 2200 as well. So Google for 2200, equity is starter for me. Amazon, I don't want equity, but if you do, maybe 2200 would be a good level. JPM and banks got absolutely destroyed today. The charts are just wrecked. Like, the indexes are hiding what's happening in these individual stocks. This is a rounding top right here. Looks like the top's in for JPM, and then we got to start looking at these gaps here. We got a big gap to fill between 110 and 105 on JPM, so 105 is a good target. Nvidia actually held. So Nvidia is interesting because AMD earnings are next Tuesday. I'm gonna keep a very close eye on this Nvidia, and we have this little trend line. You guys know I love these little trend lines, these ascending resistance. Finally break through it, and then we're coming back down to test a lot of these on a lot of these charts. And right now Nvidia is sitting right on top of that trend line. So next week on Monday, if we have a weekday, I won't touch it, but if we have a decent day or a flat day on Monday, I will be taking a shot at Nvidia calls, just based on AMD earnings. AMD earnings on Tuesday. Lisa Su, I love her as a CEO. I think she's a genius. I think AMD will go a lot higher, but I can't play those options because they're going to be too expensive. Nvidia will move even more, and we will see what happens next week. I hope you guys had a great week, made a ton of money, and make sure you guys study this weekend what you did right and what you did wrong in April so we can get better in May. Have a good weekend, guys. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.